Mic check, mic check. Welcome, folks, welcome. Just gonna allow for a few people to join us. My name is ZALES. Welcome to the Denounced podcast, where we kill our idols. KRYSTLE is cooking us up some dinner. We've been running around basically all day, but we are here. We're gonna chat it up with you guys in a little bit, and yeah, just give us a moment. I'm gonna play some music for y'all. Be back. Well, unfortunately, it seems like I won't be able to play music, but that's alright. If you are in the chat, please say hello. Today's podcast will begin in just a moment. Oh, I thank you, love. We'll be here shortly.
Yes, I'm coming right now. Do you want some water?
Mm-hmm. I know it's been mostly quiet, but if there's anything going on, How you doing, madam? Good to see you. Particular, someone's been very quiet since I spoke about whatever. Yeah, Chris will be going down, yo. So today it's going to be a light topic. Just waiting for my lovely co-host to join me. We literally, we y'all know that Sunday's Halloween, and Halloween is like my favorite holiday because it's not a real holiday. It's, and it has nothing to do with religion or family or wholesome shit. It's about getting dressed up and then going to get candy. How can you beat that? But Crystal and I went to go get costumes for all of us, the kids, her, and yep. So I'm excited for that, but we've been running around all day. Yes, spooky season. And we did some generic monster costumes this year.
What's goody? What's goody? I'm back.
Yep.
I am back. We could get this started.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm good. I can't wait. So, scuttlebutt. I just made a teriyaki pepper steak with broccoli and green beans.
And this shit bussin', B. This shit bussin'. This shit tastes mad. It tastes like Chinese food. That ass. It tastes like the shit you get in beef and broccoli.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna be a witch for Halloween. And it's funny because Zales pointed out that we're going to see Wicked on Saturday, and I'm gonna end up being a witch on Sunday.
Are these Ninja Turtle socks you're wearing?
Yeah.
That's Donatello.
Yeah. This is the eldest one's socks that he grew out of.
Oh, so you're wearing the socks.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start today's conversation.
Y'all sounds good, Scuttle.
So, right now, we're going through a kind of crazy time, It's not really the pandemic no more. The pandemic is still going on strong. But the pandemic, people getting their money up because unemployment has been cut down and whatnot. People ain't really, the PPP loans ain't happening no more, But one of the things that, I thought more people would be looking out and getting jobs. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's been reported by several news outlets, and they're starting to call it the Great Resignation. And it was, records show that in August and in September, right? Well, in August, a record 4.3 million workers in the U.S. quit their jobs.
And that's because of the vaccine mandate, right?
It's a whole bunch of stuff. And then a lot of companies are saying that there's a worker shortage, that nobody wants to work. I think that could be a little bit of the truth, but I don't think people really are talking about why nobody wants to work. And so today, like, I wanted to come on here and talk about like reasons why people might quit their job, because I just did that.
Mm-hmm.
I just quit my job.
Mm-hmm.
So I was working at a T-Mobile. That's where the title comes from. I was working at a T-Mobile, and I was there for a couple months. Started working there in July. Um, I knew that there was going to be a huge influx of people trying to find jobs. Once the unemployment stuff was getting out, you know what? I'm gonna be ahead of the curve. Let me go find a job. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do the responsible thing. And I went and worked a retail job because my friend was a manager at a store there. So he got me the in, which it seems like that's the only way to get a job now, because there is a worker shortage. Nobody wants to work, but there's a hiring shortage too. Ain't nobody fucking hiring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Which is crazy because these companies need workers.
but they don't want, you know. And I think it has to do a lot with people being tired of the nonsense. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to like work. I've been working since I was 15 years old. I don't know any other way, you know. But I'm also a strong proponent of people should not be mistreated at work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, work should be, if you work somewhere, you should be doing what's necessary to keep that business running in an efficient manner. And a lot of the things I see are nepotism. You know what I'm saying? Like, I even got a job through nepotism, but it's just, there's a lot of funny stuff going on in the labor market. You know what I'm saying? We got this vaccine mandate. I thought people would be like fired right now. They're still like, we have not seen anything happen, and and I don't want nothing to happen. I don't think people should lose their jobs over this vaccine, but there's other vaccines that are mandated for you to go places, and I took all those vaccines, and so if I had to take meningitis to go to college, I feel like you should have your vaccine if you work in the hospital or working with children or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't gotta have it to work at Target or whatever. But yo, it's crazy. Like, there's also these slave wages. Like, yo, $15 an hour. Yo, that's not enough. And I know some people in other places like $15 an hour. Yeah, that's minimum wage here. And you cannot make, in New York City, how expensive it is. Minimum wage is nothing. Minimum wage is for something for a teenager. You're supposed to have an entry level wage by the time you have a family. But it's crazy. It's crazy. Even for minimum wage here, people are expecting you to have a bachelor's degree.
Mm-hmm. Which is ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Wow, 11 years for PPP fraud. Damn.
Yeah.
People, yeah, but I may want to wait for a little bit before I start telling my story. Maybe I should preface it.
Have hit her up on Twitter as well.
So I'm 33 years old now. I have been working since I was 15 years old. I think the most I've ever been unemployed since the year I was 15 was, there was 2 years I took a break in when I was like 19 years old. From 19 to 21, I didn't have a job. I went to school and I dicked around. But then again, I think I did have a job in one of those times, right? I'm not sure. It was so long ago. But I wasn't really like working like a full-time job, or it was like making my little bit of money. And I was 19 years old. I was going to school, so I was doing what I needed to do, right? And there was one point right before I worked at Lids when you were pregnant, where I wasn't working for a little bit, and then over the pandemic, I was waiting for things to open up so I can go back to work. So I had been working, in some type of capacity uh, since I was 15 years old, and I have worked at a multitude of different places. I've worked at the museum. I've worked at museums. I've worked at education. I've worked retail. Um, I've even done the odd job here and there where I've, construction, do labor stuff like
Volunteer work
yeah, all types of different types of fields and whatnot. And um, I've never ever experienced like what I've experienced in the last couple months working at a job.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like things have gotten and regressed to such a crazy like way that I feel like it's really gonna set a nasty precedent for like the economy and the labor market for like the foreseeable future. People gonna not want to hire you if they saw that you weren't working the entire, pandemic. Um, and it's crazy. Um, Welcome to the people who are here. If y'all here, hey, Natalie just joined. Oh, yo,
Top chat.
top chat, live chat.
Hey, Natalie.
Hi, Nat. What kind of places have you worked at, Crystal?
Retail, basically. I did one like office job, but that was a summer youth job. I volunteered at my mom's place of work when she was working in dialysis center. Um, but it was mostly retail, like clothing stores for the most part. So I used to work on Simpson Street in Jean Star. I don't even know if that place is still even there. Um, I used to work for Section 21. I did Forever 21. I did Ashley Stewart. And little fucking some youth jobs here and there when I was like in my teens and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's basically it. But I'm gonna wait for you to get into like the bullshit you've seen and stuff like that before I talk about the bullshit that happened with me at Section 21.
All right. Well,
even though it's not like a long story, but whatever.
Yeah, we'll get into it. All right, so I was telling everybody that I've been working for 15 years. Well, I've been working since I was 15 years. That's 18 years now. I keep forgetting I'm 33. And honestly, doing this freelance stuff, even though it could be a struggle, sometimes there's no money. I like the freedom it gives me. And sometimes I make enough money where a regular job kind of just seems silly to have. But we need that stable bread. So I got to do what I got to do. Get a little job here and there. Work my little whatever. I'm not saying that working is for suckers. You got to work. You got to make money. Bills got to get paid. It's just that the way you get dicked around by these companies, it's not cool. So I recently got a job at T-Mobile. I got a job back in July. I ended up just quitting. I literally, my last day was Sunday. I was supposed to be scheduled till Thursday, but since I gave them my 2-week notice, somehow they were able to replace me this quickly, even though there was nobody to cover me. I don't know what the fuck that was about.
Yeah.
Right? But we'll get more on that in a little bit. Right? Got this job. My boy, who's been working for T-Mobile for fucking years. You know what I'm saying? This ain't even the first time I've been hired by T-Mobile. But this guy, like my boy, I went to him. He was like, yo, like, I told him, like, yo, listen, I'm not working. I need some bread coming in. You know what I'm saying?
About the first time around, right?
No, this took up. This what happened recently. I let him know, like, yo, I need some bread coming in. You been talking about this.
He came to you with the offer.
He been talking about because he came to me. He came to me. He came to me talking about, yo, I just became manager. I want people to come in my store. So I was like, yo, I'll think about it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not working right now. Unemployment about to cut off in a little bit. This is my thinking in July. My boy's already the manager. I've already been hired at this place, but something happened, so like, let's try it. Now you're probably wondering, yes, I was already hired by T-Mobile years ago. The same friend was working with someone. He told me, yo, the same dude who owns who's the franchisee now, he was a manager back then at a store close to where I live. I interviewed with him, and I got the job. And this that little bit of time, like maybe 10 years ago, when I was unemployed and I was looking for something, right before I started working for the DOE. I went over there, got the job. He told me, yo, stay in touch. We're gonna set up your training. The trainings were done like in a way where you had to go visit like another site or another store in order to get your training. So I was like, all right, it's whatever. 2 week, like a week, like I hit him up like every other day for like a week. Like, yo, what's good with the training? Nothing. I was like, he's like, yo, hit me up next week. I hit him up next week. Nothing about the training. I come back a little bit later, and he was just like, "What am I like? What are you? Who are you? Like, what are you? Like, whatever." Like he had totally forgot what the fuck was going on. So at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get it. I did whatever I had to do and find another job, because this motherfucker dead ass dicked me around for like 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? About this training shit, totally forgot what the fuck was going on, and after that, like, I think he asked like, we're buffering.
It's weird because it's not doing it on.
Oh, nah, B.
No, she is. It has to be her because it's not doing it on this side.
Alright.
Yes, we can see you. Write it in here.
Oh, wait, what's going on?
She's like,
I can see you.
yeah, we can see your writing.
Alright, give me 1 second here to check something. Never mind. Alright. So I got the T-Mobile job years ago with the same franchisee and manager, basically. But at this point, the manager was an associate and the franchisee was a manager of the store. So we've already had a prior relationship. I've already had interviewed by this guy, so he's been knowing me. But the fucking training wasn't scheduled, and I needed a job, so I went and found something else because they just weren't giving me the hours and stuff. They weren't doing anything to move the onboarding process forward. So I left that. You know what I'm saying? Like, worked at the DOE for 8 years, worked at the census, whatever. Did work mad different jobs. I think I've worked at mad different places since that happened. And then, my boy gets the manager position. So he calls on me. I think about it. I call him back because I'm like, you know what? Let me be ahead of the curve and get a job before everybody starts to go. Nat, we about to get into that. Yeah. Because I'm about to talk about basically everything that happened at the store. So I go interview and I because I'm like, yo, fuck it, I need a job. I need some money coming in. Let me go see what's good with my boy because he's gonna give me this job. I basically got it. Because a bunch of other of our friends worked with him too. They all left the company. My boy is still working for T-Mobile. Like yo, I love him, but he's drinking the fucking Kool-Aid. He acts like this company is the best fucking company in the world, and that they take care of him. Like, I get it. You've had a job, you've moved up the ladder a little bit. Like, I'm not discounting none of that, but like the way he talks about this shit is like it's cultish. It's really weird. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He talks to everybody about this like the same way, and it's just like, bro, like, let's be realistic here. Like, T-Mobile ain't gonna do nothing for nobody. But so I got my little job at T-Mobile. Started in July. I did my training. I saw how easy the training was done now, but I guess the pandemic has made everybody streamline their onboarding and meeting processes. So I didn't have to go anywhere. I would just have to go to the store and do like a Zoom call. The store that I worked at was 2 hours away. It wasn't in the city. I had to travel out of the city to go work, and it was a 2 hour commute to where hour and a half, 2 hour commute to where I was going to every day.
And that was one way.
And I was so that's one way. So that was 3-4 hour commute every day to work at this place. Now I'm not working at no fucking office. This ain't no fucking startup where I'm getting where I have a vested interest in getting this fucking business off the ground. I'm working at a fucking retail store 2 hours away, right? And I was working 8 hour days. And I was telling my fucking guy, like, yo, listen, 8 to 10 hour days. I was telling my guy, like, yo, listen, I'm out of the crib for 14 hour days. Can you move me? You know what I'm saying? So that was my main concern at this other spot was, hold up here, what's going on here? Let's see a text. Oh, okay.
That's Jay.
All right.
I sent them the link.
Cool. So I told them, yo, listen, I understand that you need somebody to come, to the spot, but it's kind of far out for me. You know what I'm saying? Is there a way that you can maybe accommodate me and move me to a place that's closer to my house? Because y'all have stores everywhere, right? It took a little bit, but it happened. While I was waiting for my transfer, there was a lot of weird shit going on. Like my boy, who's the manager, I saw a lot of behaviors in him that, over the years we would speak about, and we would say that I don't like when people do this at a job. So he was the type of dude, I would come to work, this nigga would be on the phone all day, chopping it up with his friends and shit, people who don't even work for the company. You just, fucking kikiing on the fucking phone all day. And then turning around and acting stressed out because shit ain't getting done in the store when you don't get the fuck off the phone. So when he started, at first I was like, alright, you know what I'm saying? He got this little power, it is what it is. This is what all managers do, right? Mm-hmm. But then it started getting excessive, where he's just on the fucking phone all the time. And then turning around and complaining, oh, I can't get this done. I can't do this. So I was like, you know what? Alright, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. I was like, alright. Secondly, every time I came to him with a problem over the job, it was like he wasn't talking to his boy of over 2 decades, almost 2 decades. It's like he was talking to a fucking stranger. I'm like, yo, this nigga really indoctrinated about his job this much that this nigga is totally forgetting that we've been boys since way back. We go way back. Mm-hmm. Since before you even ever had this job. But whatever. So that stuff starts happening. Then, thirdly, I start noticing how disrespectful he is to his other associates. Right? He will joke every time. There was one day I told him I might be late. I texted him, yo, I might be late. The bus just showed up. Right? I didn't even get there late. Right? I get to the store. And he's joking with the other associate. Oh, these bitch ass niggas was talking about how they gonna do. First off, who the fuck are you talking to and talking about? You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, you could listen.
And you was in the store that day?
Yes, I came into the store. He was talking about he was joking with the other girl, and then we both was me and the other associate were both looking at this nigga like, bro, who the fuck are you? Right? So then he was just like, oh, I'm just joking. And it's just like, bro, it's 9:30 in the morning. Nobody's fucking joking. You know what I'm saying? We all from the Bronx. We all talk a little crazy to each other. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? He meant it in jest, but yo, bro, I just got in. I'm the type of nigga, I don't drink nothing but water until noon. So I ain't even have my coffee. I didn't even get to smoke my morning cigarette. You already blowing mine. Get the fuck out of my face, bro. Right? But if you say something about him, bro, oh man, you know what I'm saying? So already he's like, okay, so now this nigga, he letting this little management shit get to his head. Mm-hmm. Now you talking to me crazy, right? Now this nigga, whatever, everything I do bad, now all of a sudden he hyper focuses on all of my mistakes, mm-hmm. right? And then he on the fucking phone all the time or whatever, you know, and it's just like, yo, alright, whatever, fuck this, right? But at least over there it was cool. You know what I'm saying? The customers were cool. The other people who worked there at least did their work. So even though he was annoying, you know, it is what it is. And then the long hours and the long commute. But I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm working this many hours. I'm working 5 days a week, this many hours. Um, you know, but I was like, fuck it. Like, but then shit started getting real funny. So so one of the things I want to let you know that if anybody from T-Mobile was listening to this, I am not speaking about T-Mobile as a corporate entity. I'm talking about these particular stores. They're called TPRs. So in T-Mobile jargon, that's a T-Mobile preferred retailer. They are not a corporate T-Mobile store. They are run by a third-party franchisee that basically, like a LLC buys. I don't know what the fuck they do, but they franchise the stores, right? Um, I was working, 40 hours for the most part. Sometimes I was working 50 hours a week. I had no health care. They had no type of benefits. This is a huge company we're talking about. Like, I don't know if y'all guys are aware, but like Metro PCS, Sprint, they're owned by T-Mobile. T-Mobile has bought those companies and absorbed them. All the Sprint customers have been, converted almost to our network. Like, that shit is crazy how much money they got. And they run stores where people are working 40, 50 hours and they have no health care. You know what I'm saying? But T-Mobile got a store everywhere, service nowhere. Mm-hmm. All right? So, I think the commute and the fucking the boss at the spot being so hard on us was one of the things that started to annoy me, because this motherfucker was asking me about shit about the store, giving knowledge checks, which I get. You're supposed to do the training. But he's telling me, oh, when you're not in the store, you need to be focusing on the... Fuck you. When I'm not in the store, right, T-Mobile ain't fucking worried that, that I'm good. You know what I'm saying? They ain't worried about that. So why would I study anything that I'm not getting paid for? Mm-hmm. You want me to pay me better, have better training.
It's like they
courses.
wanted to take all your time as if you don't got a family.
Exactly. I had a family, and I was telling them, like, yo, listen, this is kind of deep for me. Like, y'all got me coming. I'm whatever. I was the type of nigga. Before I was heading out to this store 2 hours away, I was heading to one of the local stores to pick up inventory to have it transferred to my store. And then the motherfucker would turn around and be like, oh, why are we not closing sales? If I went to pick up the phone that we did not have in our inventory to ensure that we closed the sale, I did my part for the store. He would never, ever turn around and be like, yo, thank you for going above and beyond for your customers, because I didn't have to do that. I could have took the inventory that they gave me and sold that shit on the street, but I didn't. I took it to the store. You know what I'm saying? Once they gave it to me, I could have sold that shit somewhere off on the street.
But like you lost it.
And made my money and then just keep it moving. Or say that I got robbed or something on the way to the store. But I never did anything like that. I never did no funny shit, right? And then this dude comes and he's asking me, oh, what's your, I get it. You wanna run a business that's efficient and has, the top sellers, but you try to make it seem like somehow my efforts was going to, be paid off. On top of that, I was told I was gonna get commission. I never received the commission check. I worked there for 4 months. I heard commission checks came out every month. I heard every 2 months. I have not seen one commission check. Not one. So I don't know what the fuck these niggas was talking about. They basically lied to me. They told me, because this is my friend, mind you, this is my friend who told me that he was going to help me get this job. When I was reluctant and I was like, I don't know, man, because right now, like, you know, I'm not gonna front. I was getting that unemployment for a little bit, you know. And I was like, yo, I don't know, man. I got this thing going. The money's alright right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got enough money to take care of the family shit. And he was like, yo, nah, you gonna make more money than that because your base pay and your commission checks will come out to more than that every week. I was like, yo, you sure? You sure I'm gonna see more than what I'm seeing right now from sitting on my ass and doing nothing? He said, yes, I assure you. I was like, you know what? I'll take your word on it. I'll apply for the job. I was never compensated that same way. I did not receive the same amount of money that I got on unemployment from my job, which is sad as fuck. Because mind you, I was working 40, 50 hours some week, and I couldn't see more money than my fucking unemployment, which is paying me $800 every 2 weeks, or $800 every week. Because it was paying me my base pay plus the, I think I was getting maybe 600 or 700.
Well, both of ours together, it was a G.
Yeah, it was a G every week. I never saw more than I saw. I'd be lucky to see 900 in 2 weeks, but I never saw 2,000 in 2 weeks. So they lied to me. You fucking lied to me, right? Fucked up my whole shit. And even then, so that was one of the first things that I'm like, I don't like being lied to. Secondly, the one thing that shit irked me. My second week of working there, or my third week of working there, I got quarantined for 2 weeks. I could not go to work. The contact tracers called me, said I was exposed to COVID-19, and that I should not go to work. I let them know, gave them my paperwork, all that, and I asked my boy, like, yo, what do I do about getting compensated? You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, just file your unemployment, everything should be good. But since they put all my stuff in to, because that was a thing. I got quarantined during training.
Yeah.
So they were expecting me to train while quarantined at home. And I didn't, because I was like, you know what, I'm not getting paid for this, I'm not doing it. So, because I also needed stuff from the store that I cannot have in the house. They were telling me come to the store and pick up like a tablet, like, because they use these tablets to run transactions in the stores. I'm not taking nothing from the store and having to be responsible for it. So I just refused. So,
and on top of that, if you were home training, who's to say that they were gonna pay you when training is supposed to be paid training? And so it's like they were like trying to dick you around from jump. From jump. And so not only was he like bragging, not only did our friend was bragging about the job, but he was bragging about the T-Mobile service. We had AT&T, right? We switched to T-Mobile, and the service was ass. Like, it was so bad, and me and Zales was not happy with it at all. Like, we got off of that shit so fast, and went to Cricket within a month and a half to 2 months of being on that service.
Yeah. So, one of the reasons I also took the job, because I thought I was going to be entitled to,
so basically a free
I thought I was going to be entitled to a discount on my phone because I work for the company. No one told. So when I first signed up, I went to the store. They were telling me to wait until I became like official, like officially on the system and everything. Which I was gonna wait to do, but then they put me on this shit anyway and fucked up my unemployment. So I had to wait, but they're not supposed to. So I went to T-Mobile. I was able to finance 2 phones. I thought my credit and all, I thought I was going to get. They let me finance 2 phones, right? They let me take out a plan, postpaid, to check my credit. Everything went through. And I was like, all right, so everything must be fine. Because I had an old account that, was messed up from back in the day. I did some dumb shit. I let somebody who was not trustworthy join a plan that I couldn't cut off without paying a $300 fee. And I just let that shit basically get run up and, I just never paid it. So I have a account with T-Mobile, that owed them some debt, but it got sold. So there's no way that still shows up in their systems. But somehow it did. So even though I was an employee, I was not eligible to get my employee discount unless I paid the old shit that I owed from like 11, 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, you know what?
And that shit went up to like 2 G's.
Yeah, it was 2 G's that I owed them. And I was like, you know what? Since they want to play these fucking games, all right, I'm not doing this shit. So what I did was I paid my phones off. So remember, I financed 2 phones. I said, since they want to keep me in this fucking trap, I even foregoed my $830 of fucking promo because it was buy one phone get the second one for free or something like that, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, buy one phone get the second one free. I ended up paying off both phones.
Or buy one phone and get the other one for like half off or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It was some shit like that.
I forego my promotion credit so I can get out of the service. We couldn't make calls anywhere.
Yeah, but like we deadass could not make any calls. I was having problems fucking sending text messages. I'm like, I've never had a problem trying to send a text. Ever. Ever in my life. Why is it that I'm trying, like, I'm having a problem sending a text now?
So, I was starting to feel funny as a T-Mobile employee. I was trying to feel like I was not being listened to as a T-Mobile customer. Because I would go to my boy and I would be like, yo, this is going on with the phone. And he would just be like, oh, just feeding me some line of bullshit to keep me complacent.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I was like, you know what, fuck this. So, the disrespect, being funny towards me. One of the things I also noticed every time he saw Crystal, he would, I don't know why he does this shit. And I've already said that, like, this shit is mad funny. Every time he sees you, he's like, oh my god, Chrissy boy. Always acting like mad, pandering and simply towards you. And it's like, but when he needs you, when you need him to do something or respect or treat you with respect, he's not capable of doing that. When it's like, my man is talking to you, can you treat him with some, respect?
Mm-hmm.
Or can you not, whatever. It's never that. But when it comes to seeing you, he's like, oh my Chrissy boy, I love you. All this fucking fake shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is like funny because he doesn't even know that you don't even like that.
Mm-hmm.
So then it got to so then after a while I was like, listen, I can't keep coming up here like this. Oh no, that wasn't even it. They came to me and they told me, there's a opening for you that's more local to where you are. The store, and then that the store wasn't in the best situation. It was a failing store, and he was like, you know what, you're a good enough seller. I'm gonna send you over there, and it works more with your situation.
Yeah, and on top of that, somebody had just quit too.
And somebody had just quit, so I was covering somebody. So I said, all right, that's cool. They're doing me a favor. I'm gonna be a team player. I'm gonna go there.
Yeah, it's closer to home and all that too.
Yeah, I could. It was 20 minutes to skate over there. I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna do it. He calls up the manager to the other store.
Right before you leave, right? A couple days before you actually get transferred over there, right?
Man, he's talking to her like, well, I'm still working at the store. Mind you, everybody at this store that I work at now, or that I'm working at the time of me telling the story, there's 2 men that work. There's my guy, and there's another associate that worked at the store that I got transferred to. I used to work there. and they were gushing about the manager like she was like some like fucking bombshell of a woman. You know what I'm saying? And I will go pick up stuff from I will go pick up phones, and they're like, "Yo, did you see her? Did you see her?" And I'm just like, "Yo, who are these guys like obsessing over?" Right? My manager will be talking to her on the phone. I get trying to rap to her, whatever. And so a couple days, like I think this is like.
And I feel like it's so weird that our friend would even do that, knowing, for one, you don't even like that type of woman. First off, you don't even like that type of woman. Her body, all that. Like,
yeah, she's not my cup of tea
at all. Two, I heard him saying that to you, he know he would get cursed out. Straight up.
Well, about the girl, like how does she look?
You see her? Did you see her? This that, like.
Yeah, like.
Why are you even asking him that? You want his what? What are you doing?
Yeah, so these dudes were like, I mean, it's whatever. You got a crush on one of your coworkers.
That's fine, but don't sit there and ask somebody who you know is about to get married. Did you see her? Oh, she bad. This, then the third. Like that don't make no goddamn sense. And he knows for a fact that he will get cursed out by me if I would have heard him say that.
So I'm thinking like every time they're talking about this girl, like she's like some crazy like I'm thinking she's gonna be like fucking 6'5" or some shit, like she shaped like She-Hulk or something. Nah, she's just some regular girl that just be at the store. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not special.
She's so skinny. She's so skinny.
So these niggas was talking about, well, that's a bad bitch or whatever, because the one girl that worked at the store was also her friend, so they were all cool with each other, so they were just gassing her up. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I don't know who this person is. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, right? So one day, this is right before I get transferred, he's talking to the manager to the store I'm gonna get transferred to. And so when I was 17 years old, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I went through a bad breakup. I had a crazy ass episode. I got sent to a hospital. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. It's something that I've been living with since I was a kid. To be honest, I feel like they just fucking diagnosed me with some shit so they can get their insurance money and throw me somewhere where they can try to pacify me with like medication. I never took my medication. Basically, I've been living with this shit, and it is what it is. I was going through some shit, going through a tough, traumatic time. I went crazy. Niggas, I went to the hospital. I got this bipolar shit. I've been living with it. Thing is, ever since then, like there's been a couple times where this shit might be fucking with me, where I really can't like process like the shit that I gotta normally do, because I'm usually very like organized and goal oriented, and I'm just like, let me get this shit done, because I gotta get this shit done. There's times my head is in a fog because of whatever I'm dealing with, that whatever I can't deal with it, right? Those times happen few and far between. I think I've been hospitalized maybe twice since I was 17 years old, maybe even 3 times.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
3 or 4 times.
And it's so it is what it is. There's time I barely ever have an episode. So he was talking to the manager, and he disclosed.
And he's never even seen you in an episode.
He's never even seen me in an episode. He's known me since I was 19 years old. He's only seen me pissed off like maybe a handful of times. After you chill with somebody for fucking, that's 16 years. After you chill with somebody for 16 years, and some of those years been on a damn near daily basis, you're gonna see me get into some shit.
Yeah.
He's never seen me get into a crazy ass episode or whatever. He's talking with this girl on the phone, and he discloses that I have bipolarity disorder to her without even asking me. And so when he did that, you just chatting it up with this girl. You look like a pillow talking ass nigga. Why are you talking to, like, he's like, oh, it's for work. First off, if it was for work, you should have asked me first to be like, is it okay that I disclose this information? Because that is my medical information. You can't medically disclose somebody's shit without letting them know first. So he just does that shit. And I'm like, yo, bro. So my like at that point, I didn't see him as a friend anymore. I'm like, this nigga is just a coworker.
Yeah.
He's an asshole.
So when Zales came back home that night and told me what he did, I wanted to call this motherfucker up and he would have heard my motherfucking mouth. And it's like, if it's for work, why hasn't Zales answer any of these questions when filling out the application or anything like that? That should have been part of the application process. If it's for work, that should have been in the records already. That should not have been spoken of at all, even by him, especially. You know, so all right. So Zales and I relationship with this guy has kind of fell off over the years. I'm not even gonna lie about that. You know, so it's like Zales' experience working with him and the type of shit he's done has made me really not like him.
Yeah.
It's made me really not like him. Like, yeah. Exactly. That was not for work shit. Like, if it was for work shit, that should have been between him and Zales, not him and this other chick.
And that's the thing. I don't mind if he would have came to me and asked me first, yo, do you mind me telling her? And I would have been like, no. You tell her that I got something to disclose her, because that's medical information that you're not supposed to disclose.
Exactly. That's somebody else's medical information.
And then even then, the fact that you're sitting there keying it up on the phone is kind of discriminatory. These niggas were sitting there talking. Okay, but what about when I was fucking quarantined? Ain't nobody worried about my motherfucking medical information then.
Exactly.
I didn't receive a goddamn dime. You know? And this is the thing. When I told him, I went to him, I was like, yo, bro, I'm fucked up. He lent me money. He lent me money.
And that's because you wasn't able to claim your unemployment because of the shit that they did.
Yeah, but he lent me money, so that's why I black out on him right away. Because I'm like, you know what? He helped me out in my time of need. Because that's the type of nigga, I'm not going to fucking, I don't like to bite the hand that feeds, even though I paid him back immediately. He gave me that money, and within 2 weeks, he was paid back. And that's because I don't like owing people either.
Jay, where you at, Jay? Where you at right now? Because the fact that you even wrote that in the text.
Yeah, what he wrote? What he wrote?
He says, "Scuttle capping, you not nice." I was like, wait, Jay, where the fuck you at? Like,
Jay, get in the chat, bro. What you doing? But yo, thank you for the folks who are always with us. I don't mean to get off the topic right now. Just notice there ain't nobody here. But last week when we was ODing talking about everybody and their moms was here. Where the fuck are these niggas at now? Right? Yo, these niggas can lick my dick from my tank to my shaft, yo. Fuck out of here. Y'all niggas is hate watching ass niggas. Right? And now I'm talking about some real shit about the real enemy, right? These fucking corporations that's making us niggas rip, acting, you know, friends acting like enemies and doing all this fake shit. You know what I'm saying? But nobody want to talk about that, right? Nobody want to hear that, right? Whatever. We're here with all people. People who all support.
Scuttle, he's over here watching, but he's writing in the group chat that me and Zales got with him.
Yeah,
text messaging.
Don't private text us.
Right? Like, the fuck? Get in the chat. He just wrote in the text just now, LOL. I can't wait.
Yeah, but he did that funny shit. So before I even got transferred, I'm like, I want to quit. I'm like, I want to quit because that shit, I felt mad disrespected. I felt disrespected. I felt betrayed. I was like, yo, this nigga really crossed the line on that. He should have never. First off, him talking like that to the phone on her and the way he did it, it wasn't on like, yo, listen. As I came into the back room while he was doing it, So he was trying to do it in a way where I wasn't able to hear him. But I came into the back room and heard him. And then he was like, yo, like he tried to apologize. And I was just like, whatever, nigga. And I just walked off. Because at that point, there's nothing to discuss with you.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, you know you did wrong. You know you did wrong. So I wanted to quit from then. But I was like, you know what? I'm not working with this motherfucker. So I don't have to black on him. I'm going to move somewhere else. I don't have to deal with him no more. Right? I only ever had to call him when there was like a problem at the job. So at that point, I was like, yo, nigga already fucked up their chances at the new store that I was going to. My patience, I was already done with it. But I was like, you know what? I need the money, so I'm gonna put up with this shit. Cause that's how an adult does. You know? Yeah, it was mad foul. It is against protocol. Thing is,
it's all that, and on top of against the friendship.
Yeah, that's against bro code. You did some fun. That's moving funny. I told people about that shit, and they're like, yo, like,
he did what? Everybody that we know that knows him was like, what? Nigga, like, we told Jay that shit, and he's like, nah, that nigga's on some bullshit.
Yo, I told several people, several of our friends what he did. I'm not going to use the words that they use, because it's a slur, but they're like, he did some F-word stuff. Like, that's some F-word stuff. I'm talking about slur for gay man. He's a F-word for that. And I was like, I kind of agreed, because I was like, yo, there's no way you should be talking to somebody, a woman in fact, and to make yourself seem better, you speak down on a man that's supposed to be
your brother.
Your brother. Like, I never ever have spoken ill about him. I said what my problem with him, and that's the thing. I'm honest. I don't like when he does this or that or that, and I've said it to him.
And it's like, I find it so weird because Zales pointed it out. So he was like, I feel like he disclosed that information with her because he likes her or whatever. Like, our friend likes her, and he's been trying to bag it up for God knows how long or whatever. So it's like a thing where he kind of tried to throw Zales under the bus before he even got transferred to the store. But it's like, why would you even do that? You know he got a whole woman at home. You know this.
I mean, I am fly though, so I guess he got threatened by the fact that I was going to be around her.
It doesn't even matter. Like I said, you got a whole woman at home, and on top of that, she's not even your type.
She's not.
She's not even your type. Like, y'all, I'm a thick girl. Like, I am a thick girl. This girl, I'm like 4 of her. Like, that's how small she was. That's how small she is. Like, mad skinny.
I'm not disparaging her, but I don't like a skinny girl. I'm not a skinny guy, so I don't like a skinny girl. I'm not saying anything bad about her. She's just not my cup of tea. It is what it is. But this guy, he like all types of girls. And that's another thing.
Which is weird.
She's a light-skinned girl. I don't like light skins. I mean, you light-skinned, but you not.
I'm like, I look at you like, wait, what?
But you don't act light-skinned. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you listen to, like, my music. Like, I don't like super Spanish girls. Like, if a girl listening to Bad Bunny, I don't want no parts of her, right? Because on some real shit, a lot of these super Latina girls be anti-black as fuck. I'm a black guy. I don't want to hear chilling one day and this girl call somebody, you know, or Pietro or whatever. I'm like, whoa, who the fuck you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Somebody.
So that means Prieto and Spanish is like this dark guy, this really dark black guy,
dusty.
Like
Prieto.
Like Prieto is like night, like it's big, like dark, basically.
Yeah, no, but Prieto means like. So one of the words I fucking hate in Spanish is prieto. Prieto means dark, dusty, ugly. I don't like that shit. I don't like when people use that word. Right? You know, but I don't like Spanish people who's too Spanish. That's, you know, what we like to call mira, guala. Like, I don't, you know, like, I'm Spanish. I'm hella Spanish. You know, but these, you know what's funny? These motherfuckers be the type that don't even listen to salsa. They just be listening to their new school dembow and fucking reggaeton shit. You know what I'm saying? And then
I mean, yo, don't act light skinned. Shame on me for giggling.
I'm light skinned, but I'm still a dog nigga. Right? So like, she just ultra Spanish. She mad skinny. You know what I'm saying? That's just not my cup of tea. He trying to bag it up, so he speaks ill on me. So he can, yeah. So he can, fucking mooly. Yeah. I'm definitely one of those. I'm definitely a mooly. But I was just like, yo, that's funny style. He moved me over, bro. I get to finally meet this person formally. I'm like, I don't know where is this bad bitch they were talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because like when I'm thinking they're like, oh, she a bad bitch. Like I see her, I'm like, okay, she's a regular girl, right? I'm thinking she gonna be like about her shit. You know what I'm saying? Like. She a bad bitch at sales or something, you know? Right? This bitch was garbage. You know what I'm saying?
That bitch was barely there.
Yeah, so
she was barely at work.
Yeah, she was barely. So I worked. How many weeks I worked at this place?
I think you've been there for maybe like a month and a half at
like
most.
6 months, 6 weeks.
Yeah, at most. At most. Yeah.
I worked this place 6 weeks. I couldn't anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yo, it got to the point. Zales was at that place more than she was. It got to the point customers thought he was the manager.
Yeah.
Because she was never there.
Mind you, the manager left every day at 2 in the afternoon. The store opens at 10. We had to be there at 9:30. A lot of the times, niggas was there on time. Remember the first week I showed up?
Mm-hmm.
I left here at 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
To be there before 9:30, I was skate to work.
Mm-hmm.
Niggas would show up to work 20, 15, so after I was like, yo, fuck this, I'm not coming early.
Yeah.
So then, niggas would come in.
This shit was really good.
That shit is busting.
I'm just looking at my plate.
So she would come in 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then leave at 2. Leave at 2. I think I closed with her maybe 2-3 times in the 6 weeks that I worked there. I worked 4 or 5 days a week consistently. She was barely ever there. She took her days off constantly. She worked at 2. We didn't have an assistant manager. It was just her, 3 other associates, 1 other associate, and on maternity leave. She hasn't even had the baby yet. I don't think she's coming back. She literally hasn't had the baby yet. She's been gone for 2 months already.
Wait. How can you even go on maternity leave 2 months before you even give... More than 2 months before you even give birth?
I think she
That
had
don't even make
preeclampsia or some shit, I don't know.
So that's not... I wouldn't consider that maternity leave. I would consider that doctor's orders you're bedridden.
Mm-hmm.
That's not maternity leave. Maternity leave is like... Alright, I'm 3 weeks away from giving birth. I'm leaving work now. I'm gonna relax before I actually give birth. Whatever she's doing is... I don't know what the fuck that was. That's not maternity leave. Here, baby. Take this back. But yeah. So... It's been a lot of bullshit that Zales has been dealing with. And... What you call it? And fucking, he's happy he's out of that shit. As far as the friendship with us and this guy, it's not that great as what it was. Like, on some real shit, and Johnny basically upped himself and like the friend group between Zales, you know, with Zales and I. Like he's literally the one who took his spot. Cause we used to chill with this other guy so much. Like we was always at his house. We was always doing something with him. Like we was always chilling. We was always at his house every Friday, every weekend.
That nigga was my twin, basically.
Yeah, like we was always together. Us 3, always together. We were like the 3 amigos.
I think,
but now it's like Jay.
So
Jay kind of like took that spot. You know what I mean?
After my pops died, me and Clown, shit, I said his name.
Yeah, well, it's not even his real name, but
whatever.
we all know.
Yeah.
They know who, you know.
Yeah, like whatever. But me and him had our fallout out. We fucking cursed each other out. All that shit.
Really? When did that happen? What happened? I didn't even know about that.
I came at him for his cousin because I was like, yo, can you tell your cousin kind of step off and like stop sweating my girl? And he was like, yo, bro. And I was like, yo, bro, listen. I'm like, this nigga deadass is liking everything that my girl posts all the time. Comments and hard eyes and shit like that. He never was like that before.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you want to pay it like, fuck you, nigga. Like you're fucking loony. That's how I know you ain't a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like my nigga, you never paid attention. You will be chilling. You will be there. And nigga will never say nothing to you. They wouldn't even say hi. Now all of a sudden I'm not in the picture. You want to hard eyes? Like fuck you, nigga. We know what you're trying to do, right? So I was like, yo, bro, can you tell your fake ass cousin to fucking stop sweating my fucking, you know, like. And this is after we had gotten together. We had gotten back together. I was like, yo, listen, whatever shit from before is whatever, but can you tell him to stop now? You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I don't want to say nothing to him, because if I say something to him, he's gonna get crazy. I'm gonna have to break his fucking face. All right? Because that's the shit. I don't, you know, whatever. But after, and then we had the falling out, and then there was that one time where this nigga disappeared for a whole year, and this nigga showed up, and he was like, yo, my son is born. I was like, what the fuck you mean? What son? What are you talking about?
Oh my god, it was so crazy. We were supposed to be like his best friends, right? We didn't even know. Well, we knew from someone else.
Yeah.
That him and his baby moms, that she was pregnant with the second baby. We didn't know that from him, at least. Like, he didn't say anything to us until after the baby was born.
Yeah, we found out from somebody else.
Yeah, we found out from somebody else. I think it was like 2 or 3 other people who told us that this girl was pregnant again.
And I
was like, wait, I'm like, wait, what? Like, because there were certain people like asking me, like, you know, how come you didn't tell me that, you know, they have another baby? I'm like, wait, what? I was taken aback. I'm like, I didn't fucking know that. How y'all know before me? The fuck? Like, how y'all know before us? So literally, how he announced to me and Zales that he had another child was sending us a picture of his baby. And yes, obviously, I knew that was his baby, but I responded like, "What the fuck is this? Like, what's going on here? Like, whose baby? Like, like, you know, I was playing stupid, but."
Yeah, no, it's been really weird. I mean, I guess, I'm not gonna fault them too much, because, like, as friends grow, you know, as you grow older, you know, you grow apart from your friends, and then, you know, certain friendships get more stronger. After my pops died, Johnny was that nigga who, like, literally would just be an ear, you know. Me and him would fucking sit there and we would talk about this shit, and even then, me and fucking Jay had our where we butt heads, but at the end of the day, like, we express what the fuck we did wrong to each other, and we acknowledge whoever did wrong acknowledges they did wrong, they apologize, and we get over it. But like, this nigga he acts like he never does anything wrong, you know. And there's shit that he's done, like, there's shit, there was when back when me and Crystal were young, before we even had our first kid, there was a girl that they used to hang out with that spread rumors about Crystal, about him and Crystal getting together. So when I heard about these rumors, I was like, yo, what the fuck is this about? This nigga was like, yo, bro, I was like, yo, my nigga, fuck all that. I went up to his job. I went up to Yonkers to fucking talk to this nigga. Yo, what the fuck is this about, my nigga? And, yo, like, I was not playing around. I was like, yo, bro, if you don't answer my questions, I'm gonna come to your job. I'm gonna cause a fucking scene. Right? When I went over there, he was like, yo, and I was like, oh, I liked her or whatever. And I was like, yo, bro, that's not even a friend thing to do. You know, that's my girl, bro. Like, why would you even do that? I'm supposed to be your boy. So then at that point, you know, that in itself was kind of funny. And then how he would hang out with people who he knew were taking advantage of him. And we would say, yo, stop fucking with this person and such, because they're doing this, that, and the third. And he was just blind to it. Like, he was, oh, you're just jealous. And it's like, nah, it's not jealousy. It's real shit. Like, he would go and cop for people who would not they wouldn't light him up.
Yeah, he would literally stick his neck out to cop for people that we would tell him, yo, stop copping for this person, because they're not going to let you up, and you're not going to get any part of this. And He goes and he does it anyway, and then feel like a dickhead sitting on the side watching him scroll up and smoking in front of him while he's just sitting
even
there.
with his baby moms, when he first got with his baby moms, I was telling him like, yo, watch for her, yo, she's making you jump through hoops, bro. She's not really for you. And then after you know, when they broke up, because they broke up and they had the second baby or whatever, but they were like, you know, even then, like, this nigga's still not with her.
Now, she got pregnant and they weren't even together when she got pregnant.
It's some crazy shit. It's just crazy shit. It's just craziness. But
we kind of veered off topic a little bit,
but
there's another story that I want to bring up revolving him a little bit, but I want you to get back into like the shit you experienced there.
All right, so
the shit that happened earlier this year when everybody was here.
Oh, okay. We're gonna get into that. I guess we're gonna talk about growing out of friendships with people too a little bit.
Yeah.
But all right. So he disclosed this private matter with somebody who was not a friend. I didn't like it. I wanted to quit before I got transferred. I got transferred, and the bullshit started immediately. Now, one of the reasons I never got my fucking check is because my credentials never worked in the stores. My credentials worked, I think, the week that I left, and then they never worked again. They never worked. I didn't even get a fucking name tag with my name on it. My name tag said mobile associate the entire time I worked at the store. They never fucking ordered me name tags. Right? The shirts, I bought my own shirts. I bought my own shirts because they were not providing whatchamacallit. They were not providing shirts and uniforms, so I had to buy my own uniforms. I went and spent like $100 on uniforms like the first week I worked there.
Right it again, Scuttle.
And the shit was crazy, you know? So I was spending money. I wasn't getting the money back because there was no commission checks. My checks, my hours weren't that great. You know what I'm saying? And the pay, the base pay was not covering it. On top of not getting any fucking benefits, right? So now I'm at this point where I'm like, fuck, I worked a shitty ass job. I work with a nigga who used to be like a friend. I don't really see him as a friend really now because of this shit. And now I'm working at this new store in Gun Hill. Damn, I said where the fuck I was working. It don't fucking matter. I don't work there no more.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And I was just like, yo, fuck all this. When I started working at this store, immediately I'm getting threatened by people. Customers are coming in.
Literally the first day.
First day I went in, niggas is coming in threatening me. Talking about, somebody did something to my fucking shit, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yo, bro, I don't know who, right? They blaming me because they think I'm the other guy who works at the store. And
the other guy was on leave or something.
Yeah, he was quarantined or some shit. Yeah. And then another nigga had quit. So it was what it was. So niggas thought it was the other person. They were threatening me. I was telling my fucking like the colleagues at work, yo, these niggas better stop threatening me, yo, because I'm about to fuck somebody up.
Wait, I'm lost.
Yeah, I'm lost, man. What do you mean by that? What you mean yours is central? Like central what? That'd be crazy. I mean, I just came in and fucking got a phone back from me.
That would be crazy.
That would have been crazy. Let me find out Madam came into my store. Hey. I was a tall guy. The one.
I'm sure she would have noticed you.
Out there.
But she wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when it came to the job, like, he was good at his job. He was a good salesperson. It was just the management, the leadership shit. It was just funny shit. And then he moved me to this other store. And then, when you say yours is central, what you mean? Central, like the location? Central Park Ave? Is that what you're talking about? Imagine you came and saw me, madam. Because that's where I was working at. I was working at Central Park Ave. But then there's also Central Park. Like I don't know I don't know about the area up there. Like but I went to the other store and shit was already starting to be funny. Niggas was already threatening me. I was noticing that the fucking manager was always in the back. The manager was always leaving at 2. You know what I'm saying? And I was working mad hours. Yeah. Those just the fucking franchises. They're not the corporate stores. Which is funny because the corporate stores got rated lower than the TPRs. The franchises were held to more esteem than the corporate stores because for some reason the niggas at the TPRs worked harder than the people at the corporate stores, which is so funny. But not at the store that I was working at, the last store that I was working at. This store was ridiculous. Now, we had no assistant manager. We had one manager, like I said, she was always leaving at 2. And so, okay. Yeah, we were not essential. We were at TPR. Son, this fucking manager would never be around and things would be going off in the store and the associates had no idea how to solve these problems. So there would be days where like people will come in at the end of the night and get like some crazy shit and we have to like solve all their problems and because since we're trying to close these sales, we would be in there, till 10 o'clock sometimes. The store closes at 8. So why am I in there till 10 o'clock helping a customer? So, but because we're going above and beyond. So like she would leave at 2. She would leave the keys with the associates. There was times I left the key. I was left the key. And I'm not a key holder. There was no reason for me to have that responsibility. Nobody even asked me if I wanted to take that responsibility. They just basically just threw it on me, and just whatever. So between getting threatened, I was telling the manager, listen, I need these days, that day, she was scheduling me all fucked up. There was one week, she scheduled me 5 days. I was working 10-hour days. She scheduled me 5 days. Back to back. And then the week after that, she scheduled me 4 fucking days. No, she scheduled me 5 days throughout the week. There was one week she scheduled me 4 days, all day, back to back. And that was like the week before I quit. You know what I'm saying? I told her, listen, I work 3 days all day. Can I get Indigenous Peoples Day off on a Monday? My kids had no school. My kids weren't able to really see me. Now, that's one of the things, that's one of the other reasons why I wanted to quit, because I don't mind spending time away from my kids, but when you force me to work 10-hour days, 11-hour days, and I don't get to see my children, it becomes a problem. I wasn't eating dinner with my kids. I mean, yeah, there was days where, weekends and days off I would spend with my kids, but like those days
were rare for like weekends.
And then they wanted me like all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause they spend no time with me. My kids were dead ass fighting their sleep because we send them to bed pretty early. Like they're in bed right now, right? They were fighting their sleep, waiting for me to come back home.
Just so they can see.
Just so they can see me, for a look, just so they can hug me and go to sleep. There was a day that we had to leave them because some nonsense happened. We went to go pick up one of my checks because also at the same time I wasn't getting direct deposit, so I had to go pick up my check. So I was taking a 2-hour commute on my days off to go to my old store to pick up a check. And one day I was like, we're gonna go with the kids. But then some bullshit happened like on in the Uber where like they would not allow us to go with the kids. So I told Crystal, take the kids up because they weren't allowing an extra passenger to take the kids back up, and the kids were crying. They were upset that we had to leave them home. We took the cab up to the store, grabbed my shit, took the cab right back. You know what I'm saying? Just so they could spend time with me. And I was like, nah, I can't do this shit no more. Like, I'm being taken away from my kids, and I'm working at a fucking retail store. It's not like I'm like, if I was grinding in my own independent business, and I was putting in the 50-hour, 60-hour weeks that's necessary to be successful, that is a completely different story. Because on those times, those 10-hour days, I could take a little bit of time away, and you know, like for example, when I'm hard at work here, even if I'm editing for 10 hours, right? Don't I have the boys come and sit with me just for a little bit, just so they can just be around me? You know what I'm saying? Like, my kids have seen me grind always. That's all they know of me. I'm the one who works, so because Crystal hasn't had a lot of job experience because I have, I've provided the type of lifestyle where she don't need to make that because we're very simple people. We're and frugal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there are times we do expensive shit, and it's kind of a flex, but that's few and far between.
Like what's happening this Saturday.
Yeah, this Saturday is a crazy flex, but I'm saying, but that was different. Like that's, whatever. We're gonna get into that a little bit later. Talk to people about that. But I was just like my kids. Seeing my kids be heartbroken because I wasn't able to spend time with them. Going to the store where I was being threatened and not being like appreciated. Like nobody was saying thank you for whatever. I stopped a robbery at the store very recently. Dude came in. He tried to. This is right after the iPhone 13s came out, so this was like a couple weeks ago. He came in. He tried to cut off one of the iPhone 13s out of display that nobody locked the day before, and I stopped him. And he was threatening me and all this other shit. Cops got involved and all that. And I was never even thanked for stopping the theft. I wasn't given like what I'm saying, like you remember them red flag tweets from a couple weeks ago where people were putting up all the red flags?
No.
You don't remember? All right, so there was like a tweet thing, like a meme. A couple weeks ago, people were putting like relationship red flags when they're like, oh, something says if somebody says something, it's a red flag, and they put mad red flags. And they were doing job red flags too, like we work here, we work hard and play harder or whatever. That's a red flag. Oh, we treat each other like family in this company. That's a red flag. Pizza parties. That's a red flag. I should have knew something was up the first fucking the second day I worked there, and this nigga bought us pizza. That shit was weird.
But yeah, Natalie, this manager, the one that he worked with after,
she never closed. She closed once or twice.
She would always leave around between 1 and 2.
Yeah, she even left at 1:30.
That's what I'm saying.
There was time she even left at 1:30. Yeah, not even a thank you. I was expecting them to give me a free iPhone. Give me the iPhone that the nigga would have stolen. It would have been out of the store. They might as well have gave it to me. But that's all right. I got my iPhone SE right here. It is what it is. Not even a thank you, nothing. And then things started, people started stealing from the store. So one of the things is they would emphasize that we need to make sales. So one of the things that I learned before I left was the store that they didn't fire me. So I guess that's the thing I got. They couldn't fire me. They needed me to work because the manager would never show up. But I was seeing red flags at this job, and I was just ignoring them. I was just ignoring the red flags because I needed the money. And that's one. I think people are tired of that shit. This is the reason why so many people are quitting their jobs now. Mm-hmm. They're tired of ignoring the red flags. There's a bunch of shit. So when I got to the store, not only was there funny shit going on with the manager not being there was funny shit going on in the store, like scam shit. Like customers were coming in and talking about promotions that they were offering that they were now paying for, and whatnot. And that's why I was constantly getting threatened. Because somebody was coming in, I paid 6 months of this free line and whatever, and I'm gonna fuck somebody up or whatever. And I was at the point where one of these little niggas is gonna talk crazy to me, and I'm gonna have to give them a South Bronx beatdown. Because these little uptown niggas is talking crazy to somebody who lived in the projects. Like you are a bitch ass nigga. You were only talking crazy because I have this shirt on. Like I would take the shirt off and I would beat the fuck out you, right? But I was, you know me. I know what I'm capable of. So I was de-escalating shit before it got too crazy because niggas was getting wild in the store. So there was her and that people, niggas was coming and they're telling us, scam people. Have them sign up for a third line even if they didn't want it without telling them. Niggas was talking about doing shit like that.
Yeah.
Activating people, adding stuff to their fucking accounts without them knowing. And then on top of that, not verifying the people who came in. Nigga, you like on some shit. If you come in to look at your account, you're supposed to show me your ID. The niggas would do it without even, you know what I'm saying? Like for example, if I come in, like let's say me and you, like alright, let's say me, like I was with X, and you on my line, right? If I come in, I'll be like, I want to pay a bill and I say your phone number and I say your name, and then I give them all that, right? They'll just let me into your account, and niggas will pay the bill and then turn around and be like, what's this, what's that, what's this, and go into the account without giving their ID, and niggas would just let them. I would tell niggas before, like, yo, if you did a bill pay, then as soon as you go, I'll be like, you got your ID, and then I will go back and verify and make sure that it's you. You know, niggas was getting hit. We had people come in with fake IDs and buy phones and just walk out of the store. You know, and so now they're turning around.
Now Johnny want to come in the chat.
You got, so they don't. They are sons of butchers. And then one of the other things that annoyed me at my job. So it got to the point where niggas wouldn't answer the phone at my job. Niggas would call constantly because we had nothing, and then so I would be the one answering the phone the majority of the time. And every time you answer the phone, you have to say this whole greeting. You have to say, you have to greet the person, good whatever time of day it is. Thank you for calling T-Mobile. This is the location. What was it? Thank you for calling T-Mobile, where you can get an iPhone on us. You have to say some stupid. You have to say it every time we answer the phone.
Yeah.
And then to say your name, and then people, like literally, I would say all that, and people would ask me, "You got iPhone 13?" I'd be no, and then they would say, "Bang it." I'm like, "This is a motherfucker,"
Ani. Hey, Ani.
So then between the threats and the fucking manager not showing up, and then the scheduling, and then all that shit, it was craziness.
Oh, and on top of that, the manager wouldn't do the schedule and let people know right away when they're supposed to work to start.
I would know. I would find out on Sunday night, like at midnight.
I thought you was going to say, "Well, nah, fuck that." The good bird can't take your order.
I'm a dude. She's
dude. He's a dude. And we're all dudes. Hey.
One of the small reasons that I don't really get into too much was the music. I would play our music. I would break policy and play my music on Spotify, which we're not supposed to. But then again, I was playing clean music anyway. The music shit is a racist thing. Like they don't want you to play hip hop or whatever in stores.
That's ridiculous.
One of the annoying things when people, like, at the other store, at the first store, there was a girl who was working there. She was Bengali, but she was all into the hip-hop shit. And she would listen to Drake and all this other shit, all these rappers. And people would come into the store, and she would be blasting that shit. And niggas would come into the store and blame me. Like, they're, like, talking to me. Like, there was one lady, he's like, "Oh, he's not even turning it down." I was like, "Yo, ma'am, that's not me."
Mm-hmm. And she felt stupid.
She felt stupid. Like, I do not control the music here. I do not have control of the music. If somebody in the back is listening to music, they want to blast it right now. You know what I'm saying? Every time we turn it down, they turn it right back up. You know what I'm saying? And like you're literally just blaming me because I'm the black guy.
I almost spilled your blunt, so that it wouldn't be a blunt yet, would it? If it almost got spilled.
Nah, but I think the shit that was I think the shit that was the nail in the coffin, which was the fucking last straw for me, was when I asked this girl about the scheduling, and for 2 weeks she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you the schedule. I'm gonna give you the schedule." Didn't give me the schedule, and then all of a sudden I'm scheduled for 3 days in a row, and I don't know if I work on a Sunday. And then I hit her up like, "Yo, you mind if I get the day off?" And she was like, "I need you on Monday." And I was like, "Yo, I just worked 3 days all day." And she wasn't there. She had literally taken 4 or 5 days off.
And she
And
was like
it's-
on a little vacation or
Yeah,
some shit
and I'm
like
just
that.
like, that's crazy how I gotta be here and I'm not the manager. And then the week after that, they're like, "Oh, whatever the schedule," and then I complained about it, and then the shit. Oh yeah, the fucking district manager, that nigga was blowing mine too. He is a friend of mine that I know from the guy who got me the job, who was an old friend of mine. They were roommates, and he's not a district manager at another store. Whenever I couldn't reach the manager at my store or my old manager, I was instructed to talk to him about the situation. And I was letting him know, like, "Yo, listen, I don't like what's going on." And he was just like, I remember I called him once. He was like, "Yo, what's the problem?" And I was just like, "This nigga here, bro. Like, yo, bro, I'm texting niggas back and forth. There was one point that my check didn't have all my hours on it. They had paid me, I had 60 something hours or whatever, 70 hours. They only gave me 50 hours, and it was just like, yo, bro, I worked all this extra time and shit. They gave me 10 5-hour days instead of 5 8-hour days." Right, and they act like this shit was cool, and then when it was time to pay me, now all of a sudden it's a fucking problem that I'm asking for my fucking hours.
And nobody knew where the check was.
Nobody
Nobody
knew
knew what was going on.
yeah.
Nobody knew nothing.
Yeah, because there was a check Dika delivered to my spot, but it wasn't. So they had to fucking. So then my check had to be fucking voided and then sent back to me. Luckily it was done quickly because I wasn't expecting it. Usually when you do some shit, direct deposit or whatever, it usually takes a whole pay period. So I thought I was gonna be waiting for my money, but it didn't.
Yeah.
Whatever. And so at that point I was just like, these niggas don't give a fuck when I have a problem. When I have something that needs to be solved, they don't have a problem. It's not. But when it's time for me to do something, all of a sudden I gotta get to it right away. So then at that point it was like, nah, fuck these niggas. And then it got to the point where every time, because there was no manager in the store, I had to constantly call the other managers. It got to the point where they stopped picking up the phone. So I'm just like, I'm just here left high and dry. I'm left here hanging, and the manager's not here, and I'm doing what I need to do. So then there was one point where I called out, and she was like, "Oh, this is unacceptable." And at that point, I was like, "Yo, fuck this." And then I think I was going through some shit, like, dealing with like personal shit, because last week was last week was the week of my father's death, and so like the week before that, I was already starting to feel it. And I had made my decision. I had called my boy and I was like, "Yo, I'm about to give him my 2 weeks." He's like, "No, don't do that, or whatever." Remember when I called him the other day? I was like, "Yo, I was like, yo, somebody hit me up at 10 in the morning on Sunday to be like, 'Yo, where you at? Like, you work today?" And I was like, "Yo, I never got my schedule." So then I called the old man, and he was like, No. Like I was bothering him some shit. And at this point I was like, but that was Sunday was my last day. I'm not working at T-Mobile no more. If you're a T-Mobile customer, now we're gonna get into some shit.
Yeah.
If you're a T-Mobile customer, please be very vigilant
with your information.
So when I first started working there, I was unaware that there was a data breach. Right back in July, when I first started working there was a data breach. A bunch of customer information was accessed by a hacker, a bad actor. They got social security numbers, account numbers, PIN numbers. Somebody can go to a T-Mobile with your SIM number, right? If they know your SIM, if they know your PIN, they'll be able to fucking take over your phone line, right? Like, be very, very careful. even old customers. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, if you went and got your credit checked by T-Mobile, they could have gotten access to your name, address, social security number, all types of shit that they they can fuck with you, right? And then it's crazy because T-Mobile is doing almost nothing
to prevent
to
it, to mediate it.
People come into the store, you feed them a line of bullshit. I actually would start to do things to help people. You were supposed to put a port block on your number, right? You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to do several different things for you. They're supposed to tell you that you have McAfee free right now. They don't tell anybody that. But if you come in and they be like, oh, if my phone got a virus or whatever, they niggas wouldn't give a fuck. They'll try to sell you a new phone. You know, the ways they go about shit. If your phone got instant credit, right? Nobody would ever tell you not to use that credit in that instantly. You're supposed, like, for example, you come in with an iPhone, right? Your iPhone get $500, and you say I'm gonna use this $500 to whatever. Let's say you buy $500 worth of shit in the store, like you buy headphones, case, whatever. You finance all that shit and use your money. You still have to pay the difference because now you're taking that instant credit and used it somewhere else to pay for a pair of headphones, buy this. And then it's crazy because the screen protectors that they sell, the 2GO screen protectors that cost $40.
The shit that's on my phone?
Yeah, those shits cost $40. Them shits only cost $2 to make. And we give them away free with the fuck that it's actually a gimmick to sell the protection. Because
and these screen protectors aren't that great either.
Now those screen protectors are ass. They're $40 though. They only cost $2.75 to make. And we sell them for $40.
So a train ride basically.
And they give them away for free. They take, because when you have the protection 360, right? The P360 shit, it's $18 a month depending on your phone, right? And when you come in, you're supposed to be able to get those for free. And then one thing I've noticed too, they've changed the SKU numbers for some of the shit, so now it makes it ineligible for you to get a P360. So they do all types of funny shit. Like, for example, they want they want us to sign up people for home internet. They want us to. We got commission checks. I had to track all my sales. I tracked all my sales. Somebody can go in there and steal your sales, no problem. It's not that hard to do it. You know, that's why I'm thinking I never got a commission check. I think somebody must have gone in there and punched the numbers around. Maybe. I'm not gonna say that I have evidence of such.
But you wouldn't put it past them.
I wouldn't put it past them because why have I never received a commission check?
Mm-hmm.
The quarantine shit, they don't pay over quarantine. They don't give a fuck if you're quarantined. You're quarantined, then you have to deal with this shit on your own. The people threatening the people in the store. Stopping robberies, the thefts in the store. The shit is not secure in the store.
Yeah.
The pegs on the walls, you could go in there and you could take a fucking peg right off the wall if you want. It's not screwed onto the wall like it's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? If you see a pair of Galaxy Buds in a fucking T-Mobile, just take them. Just take them. You need a new charging case, but those Buds, you can just take them because they're not secure. You know? All types of funny shit going on in the store. The nepotism, the people not checking shit. And then just the T-Mobile service. And then the experts, that shit is crazy too. If something happens in the store, like let's say we can't, like let's say our systems are down and I have to call through the store, this shit is the worst. The people who are on the phone, half the time, there's somebody from Asia and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. You know what I'm saying? They don't even speak English correctly. So you can't even get your fucking problem solved.
He's probably like, fuck that. And he was probably done with his job and shit. And he's giving away all these accessories and shit.
Yeah, nah, at my store, I couldn't give away shit. And then it was crazy because people were coming and complaining about the service. What am I supposed to tell them? I don't even have the service. I just had a T-Mobile phone. I just, and then the fucking... now T-Mobile has like 2 different class action lawsuits going against it. They have one class action lawsuit for the data breach. There's a case being built against them because they feel like these niggas. And it's not the first data breach.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's probably why the class action lawsuit
I think
going against that.
Yeah. The class action lawsuit is basically the negligence. I think this is their 5th data breach or 4th data breach in like 3 years.
Yeah, I was about to say that, like 2-3 years, yeah.
So like, T-Mobile is not a secure company.
Yeah.
And then they bought Sprint. So if you're a Sprint company, they have all the Sprint customers. They got all their shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
which most likely their information most likely got out if they switched within that time frame.
It's crazy how they call themselves the uncarrier. Like, yo, it's crazy. And I feel like the responsibility for a lot of people that they're working there, like, you need to be on top of shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just saying like you have to be on top of just not only the theft in the store, but there's also fraud going on. Mad fraud, yo. And then selling people shit that they don't need. Niggas will want to come in, they want, yo, people, they're like, oh, do a shit too. Like, this lady came in, she said that she has a phone, that she's waiting for it to be unlocked, right? But she just needed to activate our service and get a free phone. She got a free phone or whatever, and like, they didn't want me to go through, they wanted to sabotage my sale on the activation because she didn't want to buy a phone. But it's like, yo, listen, I gotta make these. You want me to make these sales? I'm selling people what they need. I'm not going above and beyond trying to get everybody signed up with an iPhone that's not even in the fucking store. That's another thing too, yo. But
that shit is hitting mad hard right now.
But to be honest, like, T-Mobile was the worst job I've ever had. And I've had some bad jobs. Mm-hmm. I remember when I worked at the print shop. The print shop was bad. Like, this nigga was dead ass, like, because remember it was we're gonna switch speeds here a little bit. Talk about old jobs that people had. Back when I was working at the DOE before I was actually working for a school, because there's 2 types of paraprofessionals. You got paraprofessionals and you got sub-paras. Sub-paras travel and float from school to school where they need help, where they need aid. So in the summers, sub-paras really wasn't needed in the summers.
Yeah.
Like, those days were few and far between. So I would go find a second job over the summers for those years so I could make money. Because, I'll get a day or two, which was cool. I make a little, like, $200-$300, $400 from working 2 days, mm-hmm. or whatever. And then because summers was like, I wasn't spending no money. Like, we got a water jug and we're just gonna be outside all day, right? And skateboarding, you know what I'm saying? So I don't need bread like that. But I would grab a little second job so I could, have extra money. And I would work at a print shop in Harlem, in El Barrio. And I did embroidery at the print shop. And it was a independent business, a family business. It was owned by a father and son. So the father was the head of the embroidery, like, department, I guess you could call it. And he was an older man, but he would drink at work. That job was crazy. People work us like fucking slaves. I would get shorted all the fucking time
on your pay.
On my pay. What's that door? Oh. Like this nigga was hitting niggas over the head with the price, and then making me do all the hats and shit. I wasn't seeing any of it. I was getting shorted like crazy. He would always offer me like cheap ass clothes and shit, and get my shit done in the store.
That sucks. You on your phone now though?
And shit was just crazy. But I remember when I went to him, and I was like, yo, listen, I gotta get out early. Like, my dad's sick. And he was like, yo, I'm sick, right? And I was like, this fucking asshole, like, whatever. So I was like, yo, bro, I left. And I think after that, I quit, right, that job. But then he came back to me like a year later, like, yo, I still need help, like, whatever. Like, Noel was like, yo, there's mad shit going on here, like, whatever. My old coworker. So I went back, and then I think like one of the first things he asked me was like, "Oh, how's your dad?" Like I remember like you left that day because he was sick, and I was like, "Yo, my dad died," and this nigga felt like an asshole. He felt like an asshole. Yo, even his son was just like, "Oh, shit," and I was like, "Nah, I told you when my dad was like he was sick. He was sick. Like he had cancer. He died, right? He was just like, he felt like an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but like at least at that job, I was drinking at work. I would drink on the job. You know what I'm saying? I would go around the fucking corner and smoke my weed and do whatever the fuck. Like it didn't matter. Like our job was whatever. I just stood in front of embroidery machine and shit. I did listen to like a lot of dope music and shit like that while I was there and chill with the niggas who was there who was cool.
And at that job was where you found out about Power from the first season.
Yeah.
Then we started watching it together.
Yeah. There was one day where I think like even then, like even though the guy there like was an asshole, like he at least had like some type of heart. There was one time niggas was threatening the fucking store. This nigga pulled the fucking gun out. Niggas was threatening the store. He said, nah. He dead ass told everybody, nah, stay. He went outside in the front of the store, right? And he told somebody to lock the door. He was outside. And then somehow somebody unlocked the door and these niggas came up. But then he pulled up because I think he went to go like use the bathroom or some shit. And then when he came out, he saw the shit was like, so he went. He said, yo, fuck that. He told the nigga, yo, go into the box, da 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 da. The other kid went to the box immediately, and this nigga went and grabbed a pistol. And then he told the nigga, he's like, you ain't threatening nobody in my motherfucking store. Da 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 da. I don't give a fuck. He's like, and then he's like, these are young guys. They can handle their own, but they work for me. He was like, so ain't nobody gonna threaten them while they work for me. And then so like I respected that, even though he did asshole shit. Even though he shorted me like on my pay, at least like. And even though like he was mad selfish and like mad like self-absorbed and shit like that. At least when it came down to it, like he always paid me on time. You know what I'm saying? He never, even though he shorted, he always made up for it somehow. You know what I'm saying? Like he would do something for me, like, oh, you can use the machine for free, like all day if you want. And then I would go and do whatever. I would go do my shit and turn around and sell it. You know what I'm saying? So it was whatever, like. But eventually the shit got crazy because like the son couldn't even work with him. So that shit ended. The son ended up working on his own, doing his own thing, and then that was that job. And then the school job, the school job is crazy. Like you see a lot of bullshit in school jobs. There's a lot of people who work for the schools that don't need to be working for the schools. And then when I worked at Lids, Lids was crazy. Lids was cool though, because I got to meet like celebrities at Lids and shit like that.
Yeah, because you were like right in Midtown, basically.
Yeah. Worst thing about that was working the holidays.
Because again, you're right in Midtown.
But like, what about you when you're like your shitty jobs? Like,
well, so first shitty retail job I had mentioned earlier, Jean Star. It's like this little mom and pop shop on Simpson Street. I worked there. I believe I was like 18 years old. I was 18 years old. I worked there for maybe like 6 or 7 months before he fucking fired me. Right? But the reason why he fired me, alright, so the reason why he fired me, it was one day that I was in there and I was feeling dizzy, like hella dizzy. I was feeling a little nauseous. And I'm like, yo, I need to sit down. He was not allowing me to sit down. He was being like a huge fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like he was not allowing me to sit down, whatever. So I started like getting mouthy with him. And he told me to go home. He sent me home.
Yeah.
Right? So he was like, I'll call you like for your to tell you like what's the next day you should work or whatever.
Yeah.
So I leave, I go home, and he calls me, but when he calls me, it was to fire me.
Yeah.
Right? So, come to find out, later on, I was pregnant with our eldest when that happened.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was actually 19. I was 19.
So this nigga didn't even like think about like why you're like, I don't feel good. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I feel really, really, really dizzy. I was starting to get hot. I was sweating a little bit. Then I started feeling really nauseous. And I was like, yo, I need to sit down for just a minute. Like, I really need like 5 minutes. I just need to sit down for a second.
Yeah, get some water.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, this shit is like a thing with jobs. Like, at my job, you couldn't sit down. At this job that I was just working at. Like, you couldn't sit down. You know, there's a bench there. There's a bench in the store for people to sit down. To sit there and wait, right? And there's benches like that at every store. Like my nigga, I promise you, the people do not give a fuck if the worker is sitting down. I don't know where the fuck we got this notion in America that people do not sit when they work. These office jobs, these niggas are sitting 10 hours a day. And that's a job where that's horrible for you. You're either standing up all day or you're sitting down all day at your job. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never like you know, like, think about it.
A fucking perfect balance. Like,
well, what is a perfect balance? You drive a cab all day? You're still sitting down all day.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was that. It was crazy because obviously first pregnancy, I've never experienced that before, anything like that, or you know, any of that. So when I found out I was pregnant, I started looking back at my behaviors and the food that I was eating, and like how heavy I wanted them. I was like, that makes so much sense. Because there was like this pizza shop. It was like across the street and like a block down.
Oh, by the school, right?
Yeah, in a block down. So on my lunch breaks, I would go to that pizza shop every day to get fucking, you know those chicken cheese rolls and that bread. Well, I would get one of those because theirs was like amazing. So I would get those all the time. Either that or like a quesadilla. I mean, not a quesadilla, a calzone. Those were like the two main things that I was eating from like that pizza shop for like 2 months before getting fired and finding out or whatever. So yeah, I didn't find out I was pregnant. Basically, I was almost done with my first trimester by the time I found out I was pregnant. So yeah, and then that happened. And then there was one day it's funny, there was one day I actually went over there. I took a little walk over there with the baby in the stroller because there was a coworker there that I was still really cool with. And I was always talking to her or whatever on Facebook, or yeah, I think it was Facebook. Talking to her on Facebook, like we kept contact like OD. So she was like saying she wants to see the baby or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'll take a walk over there one day. So I go over there, take a walk over there with the baby. He's in the stroller, all that, right? And the motherfucker's outside. The guy who fired me, he's outside, and he's looking like, whose baby is this? I was like, oh, this is my baby. You fired me when I was pregnant. Like, yo, his face was just like so like surprised that, you know, I would talk to him that way. You know what I mean? Like, because everybody in that store was shut to this man. I was not. I was not. There was a lot of sexual harassment going on in that store. Not only by him, but the other men in that store.
Niggas is lucky I never pulled up.
No, that's because I nipped that shit fast. Yeah. I nipped that shit fast. So, when they tried to do that shit with me one day, one of the guys that worked there, we was all waiting out in front of the store because we all had to be there for opening, whatever. We all waiting for the manager. So everybody's outside in front of the store and you know, just chilling, just talking, whatever. And so we didn't have like closets or any lockers or anything like that. Like
Yeah.
our stuff was literally hung up where people would check in their bags.
Yeah.
So I had a fanny pack.
Yeah.
All my personals and all that was in my fanny pack. So
Yeah.
I would not drop that and leave that anywhere. I had that on me at all times. So that morning, we all outside, just talking, chilling, waiting for the manager to come to open the store. That morning, some guy, one of the guys that worked there, was like, "Oh, why do you always have that on?" I was like, "It's my bag. Like, I have my personal shit in here. I'm not gonna just, whatever." He's like, "But why though? Whatever." I'm like, "Cause I have my personal shit in here. What you mean why? I'm not gonna just leave this anywhere. What the fuck?" So, he was like, "Oh, well, we all want to see your ass." Why did he say that to me? I blacked the fuck out on him. Blacked the fuck out on him. From that day on, this motherfucker never even looked in my direction. From that day on.
Stick your fucking head in the dirt. Don't even look in my direction.
That ass. He never looked in my direction, and all the other men in that store respected me because I didn't fucking allow that shit.
Yeah, nah, that's how.
I did not allow that shit. And then also to be mouthy with the manager as well, because he was also a fucking. He was nasty. He was fucking disgusting. That man.
You know what's crazy? It's crazy how people get at jobs. They get way too fucking comfortable. They say, "Motherfucker, you see me for 6 to 10 hours in a day, and you think you know me. You act like I won't start some motherfucking ruckus in here." You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that I've realized, that like the people who don't take no shit at their jobs they always try to get you out of there. They always try to get you out of there. You know what I'm saying? When I'm like, "Oh, I'm not taking none of this bullshit." They try to get you. Yeah, I know. I'm mad stuffy right now.
That and we fucking smoking, so this shit's hitting hard right now. Scuttle.
Oh man, yeah, this shit hitting dumb hard. Like these niggas be wilding. Like I remember. And people get way too comfortable. The people fucking around at work, that shit is crazy. Niggas make that shit way too normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas make it way too normal. Like with the fucking around at work. Like, yo, listen, if I work with you, don't say shit to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially in work. If you want to mess with somebody, try to talk to them out of work, but not at work. You know, like cut that shit out. That's just corny.
Fuck.
Back for blood later. We'll see. We could play with Nat if she's available.
Yeah. But so the next job that I could talk shit about. So that first one was Gene Star. The next retail job that I could talk shit about is Century 21. I worked there like 3 months. And it was a minimum wage job. And they drug test.
Nigga.
I was making $7.50 an hour.
Oh my god.
Remember those days when minimum wage was...
If a nigga making $7.50 an hour, at least let that nigga be vibing. Shit. Let that nigga be high. What the fuck?
So I literally had to quit smoking just to get this job because my godmother works and still works for Century 21, and she was the one who gave me the word for me to get the job. So, that's the reason why I quit smoking, because she was doing me this favor. So I stopped smoking, but I'm like, yo, once this drug test gets taken care of, I'm sparking a blunt. Fuck all that. So,
You worked at a temp agency.
That's crazy. But, alright, so, Century 21, I was working there for about a week before my shit got stolen out of a locker. Literally. I put my jacket and my bag in a locker. I go to that same locker to get my shit out, and my shit is not even in there.
Your jacket and I had to come bring you a jacket.
You and my brother had to come down just to get me from work because I had no means of getting back home because all my shit was in the bag.
And niggas never fucking found out what happened.
And niggas never found my shit. None of that. So, after that day, KRYSTLE with a motherfucking attitude every fucking day at work. That was me every fucking day at work. Before then, I was shits and giggles, hi, good morning, all that shit. After that day, I was getting nasty with managers. I was getting nasty with customers. I didn't give a fuck. I was going to work late almost all the time. There was one day I was like, fuck this, I'm hungry. Didn't even go to work yet. I was like 2 hours late. I went to go get food and then went to work. And that was the day they fired me. I was like, okay. I was like, so I'm done here? She was like, I don't think you understand. We're letting you go. I was like, so I'm done here then. I'm done here then, is what you're telling me. Okay, cool. And I did.
Yeah, no, I think it's not that having a job is the problem. It's the negative cultures that are always associated with jobs. People at jobs need to understand, yo, the second week this person worked here, their shit got stolen and we never rectified that situation. We should have gave them a whole new bag, a whole new wallet, paid for a Metro card. Or you lost your phone, we paying for a phone. Oh, now we're gonna go look at the camera, see who stole your shit, get them fired. You know what I'm saying? Do all the shit they needed to do so you don't feel no type of way. Now it's like, oh, you go to work, you pay $750. This, first off, these shifts that I'm working right now don't even begin to cover the shit that got lost while I was working here. Mm-hmm. So who the fuck are you? Mm-hmm. You know? So
that was my wallet. That was my social security. That was my ID. That was my everything that's in the wallet. Money.
You was mad pet too because for a long time you were looking at your credit and making sure that nobody opens some shit in your name or nothing.
None of that. Like, yo. Yeah, are you finished? Or basically is what I said to that bitch. You finished or are you done? Because I've been done. I've been done the first week, bitch.
Yeah, no, that's how I felt at this spot, and I guess I could tell people how I lost my job at Lids. So I used to work for Lids. It's the fucking it's the hat store. You could buy hats there. They're owned by a company called Genesco. Genesco also owns Journeys and Dockers, I believe. So I worked there. I was the embroidery specialist / embroidery manager. I was the person who was in charge of training the embroidery staff that was underneath me, maintaining the machines, and I was the embroidery manager, I think, for like the district, I think, or some shit. So like if something, because there was an embroidery manager who was never there, so I was like de facto, like they called me embroidery specialist. I don't know what the fuck they called me, but basically if your machine got fucked up and you were in the Midtown area, guess who's coming to fix it? If the embroidery manager didn't come to fix it, it was me. You know what I'm saying? So I went to 42nd, like, you know, whatever, different stores to fix their machines. I also worked at 3rd Ave and covered fucking, you know, like, whatever. So I worked there for 3 years. Now, being a fucking graphic designer, I was nasty at this embroidery shit. Like, I'm still very appreciative of, like, embroidery as an art. You know, like, I feel like once we start getting the shit on with the merch, I think I'm trying to make sure our embroidery is like top notch, so people want to buy our shit. But but at the end of my run there,
can you close the windows and put on the
AC?
It's fucking hot.
I was working. I was working to make our store like the best store when it came to embroidery, because I was like the best embroidery artist. People were coming to me to get like their fucking logos done, and I was doing like I was, trying to like break records at the store. What's up?
We gotta try this one. The top one. That sounds interesting. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay.
So, they were talking about how they were gonna fire people in my store because niggas wasn't making the embroidery like what you gonna call it, like record. Like it was saying that niggas, like, I was making a good amount in number, but the percentage wasn't where it needed to be because the percentage wasn't like for the whole store was mad low. Because I was making a certain percentage, but my percentage got fucking knocked down because everybody else's percentage was mad low. So I was starting to give niggas embroidery orders and all this shit. Some guy came in and the store wasn't making anything that day, I guess, because like at this point, like no one gave a fuck. You know what I'm saying? We had lost mad people. If y'all know the rapper Panama the Prince, he used to work with me at this fucking Lids. Me and him is still cool. Like he does shit with Crosby now, who's like friends with Rough Star. So like when I get on, you're gonna see me with Crosby and Panama. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I want
to the fold and
yeah,
shit.
I want to get together with them niggas, man. They're doing some artsy shit. I like what they're doing. Yeah.
Yes, Jay. Yes.
So guy came in, he wanted to do like 13 hats. 13 hats cost a certain amount of money. Remember, we got the hats wholesale. So we selling the fucking 60 hats for fucking how much we were selling the hats that we get for a certain amount of money. We were selling it was $60 or $70 just for the hats. You know what I'm saying? Oh no. It was even more. We were selling them hats for way more. They were making like 3, 4, 5 extra dollars profit on the hat. So we were selling the hats for like 18 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Hats that you can buy like as a regular person, like for what was it, a dozen for like 60? We were selling them for like maybe 100. You know what I'm saying? But they were getting the hats for even less. Because they're a big ass company. Then they're selling the thread of the fucking each fucking thing, each piece of embroidery costs a certain amount of money. So now imagine you selling these wholesale hats for fucking regular like prices, almost $20 a pop, and each hat gets $7 of embroidery each side, right? So now this nigga wanted 2 sides of embroidery. 2 colors now makes it double on one side. So it was $21 of each hat cost $60 fucking dollars now, right? And he wanted the extra nice fucking shit, so that shit popped out of the hat, so that cost even more. And then he wanted gold thread on the whatever. So each hat at this point now is like $70. He bought fucking 13 of them. You know what I'm saying? So 13 times 70, right? Our sales would have. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Because these niggas is coming down on everybody's neck, saying they're gonna fire this, that in person, whatever, because the embroidery numbers ain't right. So I think I gave that embroidery to somebody and I finished it. And then I put up a list and I was like, yo, listen, I know we're not supposed to do this type of embroidery. It breaks fucking, it breaks policy. But like, look, listen, niggas, they're talking about firing niggas, and I want to make sure everybody got a job here. So I took this huge embroidery order that has a curse word on it, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is bag the shit up, take the last hat off of there, clean it, and then get the fuck out of here, right? And delete the fucking embroidery machine. Right? The fucking manager comes and he sees it and he just refuses to give the nigga the hats. They're already done. It's not like you had to do it. You just had to take the last hat. I was like, yo, I left the last hat on the thing because it was, whatever. And I just left the machine on type shit. To finish the last hat before I left. And all you had to do was literally just take it off, clean it, and then whatever. Nigga didn't even want to do that. Nigga refused to give him the hats, the 13 hats that were already done and paid for. He went to the fucking district or regional manager and complained. And then I got fired. And the regional manager was upset because he didn't want to fire me. He was like, nah, like, I understand why you broke policy. I was like, look, listen, I didn't want to break policy, but niggas is not performing. Because nobody wants to perform because everybody in the store is fucking depressed or hate their fucking life now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and you made me manager, so I was like, yo, fuck it, I'm gonna make the tough call. So what if they had to say fuck you on them,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't even think they said fuck you. They said F percentage
$, and
K.
the @ sign.
Yeah. So they weren't even full curse words, but they just implied the word fuck you, and I still got fired. Yet niggas was putting on fucking whole. They were breaking copyright at all the other stores and all that. That's the shit that killed me.
Wow.
You went to every other store, niggas was going over there, and then we was getting niggas to come into our store doing whole brands. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Niggas would come to the store. Can you do the teaser logo? No, I'm not doing the teaser logo.
So, what was the best retail job you've had that you could say you actually enjoyed?
Me?
Yeah.
My favorite jobs was the museum, cause that shit that they took me to fucking in the Heights. They paid fucking great. When everybody was paying $7.50, they were paying $15.
What you call it? But that's not necessarily retail.
In retail, what you talk about?
That's not. No, the best retail job I've ever had before working Ashley Stewart. It's Ashley Stewart. That's the best retail job I've ever had. But before working Ashley Stewart, I would say it was Forever 21. Even though like I was working late at times and getting home like hella late and shit like that, but I liked how everybody was like assigned a task and you had like a group basically assigned to a certain section of the store or whatever. Um, but with See, I don't like stories like that though because I start to feel robotic and I feel like I need to do something else. Like
What?
I can't like just doing the same thing over and over every day. I can't stand that. So whenever like they needed like somebody in the fucking the fitting rooms or something, I'd be like, I'll go. I just need to get away from this fucking section. I need to do something else. Like like so that's the reason why I loved Ashley Stewart because everybody did everything. Like you was the sales associate, you was the cashier, you was the fucking stocking person. Like you did everything. Like there was always something that needed to be done in the store and that was because everybody did everything. So it's not like you were just a cashier and just standing there waiting for somebody to come to the store. Like you would go move away from the cash register, or something needs to be refilled, like the pantyhose or something. You go downstairs, you get some pantyhose, and you put them shits in. Well, there's nobody in the store. So that's why I loved Ashley Stewart. Like everybody did everything. It didn't feel repetitive. It didn't feel robotic. Like it wasn't boring. Like it was good. It was all around, like for the most part, good. Up until new management, and then I quit my job.
Basically, that's how Lynch was cool when I first got there. The management was cool. The embroidery girl nobody liked her, so she ended up fucking leaving, and it was just me and Noel. And then when that happened, it was cool as shit. But then when they switched management, because like I remember Doug was working there, and Doug was cool. Like when people who cared about hats worked at the store, it was fun. You know what I'm saying? But then it got to the point where we had the stock girl. The stock girl was mad annoying. She didn't want to do shit. The fucking place was mad dirty. There was mad people who didn't want to work, or people would call out or whatever. And there was like, we would be short staffed. And that was near the end where we had a certain manager, you know what I'm saying, who felt like she was hot shit, and she just like the store was just failing. It was cool when I worked at Third Avenue, because Third Avenue was such a small store, like, and then we would just be chilling. You know what I'm saying? The niggas would come and would sell hats. I didn't work. I worked at Applebee's for a second. Like that was like 2 weeks I worked at Applebee's. I fucking hated it. I would never work food service again. The people who work food service, they're special. They're built different. God bless their hearts. I can't deal with that shit. Especially because it wasn't even the customers, it was the people. You know what I'm saying? I see why niggas be fighting at Waffle House. You know what I'm saying? Like the line cook, like these cooks be these niggas act like they like nigga you push in the microwave. You act like you run shit out here. Like fuck you, nigga.
There's two bad things that I could say about Ashley Stewart though. In the summertime, always around when it starts getting hot.
Yeah.
Always. The fucking AC breaks. The fucking AC breaks. And then you're like that all fucking summer with no fucking AC. Just hot. So that's one thing. The other thing is that when it fucking rained and poured, we were literally getting flooded downstairs. Like, I'm talking about the rain, when you could see the rain, like, coming down the walls downstairs.
That's just crazy.
Like, one of the assistant managers, the part-time one, would literally, when she would work at the times that it would be flooded downstairs, she would literally bring her rain boots so that she can go downstairs and get certain things that customers may need that's not upstairs.
That's crazy.
Because it was literally like to the ankle, a little higher. Like it was crazy down there.
Shit. Where else have I worked? I worked at the museum.
I did office jobs.
The school shit was cool for a little minute. It's eventually when I got signed to a certain school, I had to deal with like the school culture. But like working with, it was touch and go. You know what I'm saying? Because like there were times where they focused on academics, and that was like the best time for me. Like when I worked with students who were actually learning things. Mm-hmm. But when I felt like I was like a glorified babysitter, that didn't feel good. And so it felt like that a lot of the times in school. But like good schools, you don't feel like that. You feel like you're serving the community. The kids look up to you. And I felt because like even though I am 30, like I don't look 30 in the face. And so these like they look at me like an uncle or like an older brother or something like that. You know, some kids might see their father in me, but even then, a lot of these kids don't have men in their lives. So to see like a grown ass man that's like doing his thing, that's like educated, articulate, and still like I'm not like no lame nigga, like I'm not like the principal in his ill-fitting suit. Like nah, homie can dress. Like I like his shirt. I like and then I'm also like can show them like yo, it's cool to be smart. You don't gotta be this hood nigga all the time. You can be smart. People like smart people. They kind of want to like they want to try to be that. They want to try to like.
Tell me about the time when you first met this guy.
Who? Huh? Oh yeah, like so.
What he thought of you before you started talking.
Yeah, so like I will come into like work sites, whatever, and work with people. And I remember one of my homeboys that I work with, I'm really cool with now. He got a kid now. I used to work with his wife too.
Before you even knew.
Yeah, before I even knew who he was. I came into the work site and he saw me, and I'd be dressing like a hood nigga. Like I'd be coming to work like. Because one of the things about me is I never showed up to the school job dressed up. You would never see me come to a like if I had to work at a public school or work at a school in the hood, you not see me in a button up. I'm not doing that. I came through with the Timbs, I came through with the sneakers, I came through with the hoodie. Like if I gotta break up a fight, I'm gonna be comfortable. Just know that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it got physical at the schools. Like you have to do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? You can't have kids fighting in the school. Mm-hmm. So if I'm breaking up a fight because the principals, the deans would never do it, it'd be the school aides and the young guys or whatever. So I would be comfortable. He thought I was like some ignorant hood booger nigga, but then he heard me talk and he saw how articulate I was, and he was like I was surprised because I thought you was just gonna be in here like on some ignorant nigga shit, but you actually you actually got a good head on your shoulders. And I'm like, yeah, now, like, I'm a hood nigga. I've been through shit. I've seen mad shit. I've done shit. You know what I'm saying? Even to this day, like, I be on some hood nigga shit. It is what it is, but...
Like the other day, he was about to really black out on these two guys on the train.
I was about to fucking beat up some nigga on the train today.
Yeah.
Every time I'm on the train, I'm about to beat some nigga up. And that's because niggas be wildin'. But that's the thing. I'm not disrespectful. I'm just, if things gotta go there, it'll go there. Mm-hmm. Like even in the schools, I remember, there was one time, these kids, they were bugging. They were throwing chairs in a science class. And the science teacher was a big fat nigga, so he wasn't getting up. These niggas was throwing chairs and desks at each other, like across the room. I remember a kid threw a chair. I fucking caught it in mid-air and I just put it down and I started blacking on these kids. Literally, like, I had them scared of me because I started because when I get really, really angry, I start to pace back and forth like a lion in a cage. Right?
Good night, Scuttlebutt.
Good night, Scuttlebutt. So these little niggas were throwing a chair. I caught a chair and I was like, yo, y'all bugging out. Why are y'all like this? Why are y'all acting like this? And then I said, you look, and I dead ass, I think that's probably why they switched me to the other classroom. Because a white man was sitting there, right? And I'm like, why you think they look at us like we stupid niggas? Because we do shit like this. Like, you in a classroom, in a room, in a school known for kids who misbehave, and you hear throwing chairs, whatever. And because the teacher don't give a shit. And I was like, nah, whatever. And I'm like, that's not. And I told them, you want people to look at you like this way for the rest of your life? And it's crazy because the little dude who threw chairs, every time he sees me in the hood, he always give me mad love, you know? That's because like he needed a man to be hard on him, to be like, yo, what you doing, little nigga? You bugging the fuck out. And then but after that, one of the most respectful young men I've ever met. When he sees me with his mom, he bring his mom to me now, yo. Because there was one time he came up to me and I was like, oh, he's like, oh, and then his mom's like, you know him? And then he's like, no, I come. He's like, no, he was like, whatever. And he was like, oh. And he was like, yo, and she dead thanked me. She's like, yo, nah, ever since, because it was me and the other brother that worked there. He's like, ever since y'all worked in his classroom, he's been a much more respectful young man. Like, I could see him because he got out of that school. He went to a regular high school. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
So he went from being in that D75 special needs, all behavioral shit, to ending up being like, nah, I want to get out of here. He started playing his ball and then started getting on his shit so he can then go to a regular ed school where he didn't need a para, he didn't have whatever, and he started to excel in that because he was like, nah, somebody pushed him to be like, nah, because the little nigga was bugging out before. He was coming to school high, all that shit, fighting at school, and then got to the point like, even when I would see him like with his friends in the street, he was not hanging out with like the little stick-up kids or the kids who, they're going to play ball, like, or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? And then, even though he's like a little older now, so now it's like, now he's kind of getting back into the street shit a little bit, of course. But at least, because it's all kids are like this now. You know what I'm saying? Like, the lack of jobs in our community and the lack of prospects in our community have people give up from early on. You know what I'm saying? And the jobs that, like for example, it's hard to find a tailor around. That's a job people can do. What jobs are available? Like fucking Amazon. People talk about shitty. You can't even take a piss working for Amazon. And
people having to fucking piss in bottles and shit.
Shit like that will make you quit your job. I don't give a fuck how many hours I'm getting, how much pay I'm getting an hour. If I gotta piss into a fucking bottle, I'm not showing up to work. And there's money to be made outside of these. Like, for example, like there's all these content creators, these people making millions of dollars, whatever, sponsorships and all this other shit. Like, hopefully this channel grows to that. You know what I'm saying? But like, we understand that it's a struggle. Every day it's a struggle. And if you got a job, like, yo, listen, you might be going through it. If the job ain't for you, if you feel like, yo, if you are depressed because of your job, please do what you need to do to find another one. Don't be like me and quit your job without. I got something lined up, but it's not the greatest. You know what I'm saying? It's another little minimum wage shit. It's gonna keep the lights on. I'm not gonna be working as many hours, so I'm gonna have to cut my budget significantly, but
Yeah.
I'm already in the process of doing such.
Yeah.
Like not spending like the last 2 weeks I've been on some shit.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't spent nothing. You know what I'm saying? Of course, if you want to help, I'm not saying you gotta throw us any bread. Like yo, it can even be $1. Just $1 is more, one more dollar than I had before, and $1 turns into $2, and so on and so forth. If you want to help out, we appreciate it. Or if you need, something music wise, graphic design wise, illustration wise, please hit me up, DM me, and we could talk rates. I'm doing it for the low right now, and I do good work. You see what you see on the screen. I came on here talking about the bad job shit, just to let people know, like, you could. Right now, I'm on the path of trying to get my business off the ground. It's not the most lucrative, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes there's no money coming in, and sometimes when there is money coming in, there's a lot of money, and I'm busy as shit. This job could get just as stressful as a regular job. Well, because I'm passionate about it, because I want to do it, I go out and I'll put in the work.
And it's for you. It's not for nobody else.
It's not for nobody. Yeah. If I fuck up in my job, it's my fault. You know what I'm saying? If I don't get no commission, I'm not out here, hustling hard enough. It is what it is. And I think I want to finish this podcast today with something that reason why a lot of people get jobs that they don't like, and that's to look and seem, like there's something that they're not, to impress other people, because everybody be pocket watching. I know Shelby isn't like really on here no more. I think he deleted the channel, they said. But something he said last week, he said something that the people who were talking shit about him were accusing him of not having a job. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, that's none of your fucking business whether somebody has a job or not.
Yeah.
People go through their struggles. Some people are working, like, for example, when I start doing my business shit, right? People gonna talk shit about me not having a job. If I go out and I'm shooting videos and I'm editing videos and I'm doing graphic design, right? And
That's
people are paying me, that's a job, right? You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck are you to tell? Because I don't have a traditional job. What is this gatekeeping shit that people do, right? Why? And then watching people's purchases. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of this shit. Oh, people don't got a job. They got this. They got that. A lot of people will say, "Oh, but you got this. You got that." Yeah, when I had money, I was paying for shit. I was buying shit. Now that I don't really got money coming in, now it's like, all right, let me not spend as much money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just how life goes.
But I think the next week's episode should be the story that I wanted to get into with the friend that we was talking about.
Actually, no. Well, we can talk about that.
No, because it could be another. It could be because we could throw in other stories of like certain shit too.
I don't know, because I feel like.
And plus, it's getting late.
It is getting late, but I think you can end it off with some shit like that, because the pocket watching shit, like, that's one thing that could make somebody not be your friend. You know what I'm saying? Pocket watching does happen a lot as people get older. You know what I'm saying? Like, pocket watching is a very negative thing. Like, it's why do you care how somebody else spends their money? You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Like, no one thinks about who they spend their time with. You know what I'm saying?
Plus, I think Jay's the only one here.
Oh, okay.
And he already knows the story.
All right. Well, I guess we'll talk about this.
We could talk about that next week.
Maybe not next week. Maybe, I guess we'll figure out next week. Maybe we'll probably just talk about it at the beginning of our show, real quick, and then come up with a topic for next week.
I guess we could just talk about disrespectful stories, crazy stories that we have.
That disrespect.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Thanks for the people who are here. We have, a few people here. They were here the entire time. Our avid supporters, we always appreciate you coming out. I don't know where the fuck everybody else went to. But fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Niggas literally only come around for the drama. This is some drama shit too, kind of, when you think about it. This is some corporate
And I'm
shit.
sure many people got T-Mobile.
And I think many people feel the same way about their fucking jobs. But instead of being relatable, everybody wants drama. You know what I'm saying? Save that drama for your mama. This is the Denounced podcast where we kill our idols, the most denounced. My name is Zales.
And I'm Diamond. And we are the Carbon Couple.
Yeah, we're out of here.
Signing off.
Yeah, love you too, Jay. The Muki, yo, we want.
Shout
Are
out
we
to
gonna play
Muki.
Back in Blood?
Should we play? Yo, Jay, you down?
I'm kind of tired.
Okay, so yeah, I am kind of tired too. Yo, Jay, we'll play Back for Blood tomorrow.
Or on Saturday, right before we leave. Oh no.
No, that's not a good idea at all.
Yo, what you doing? Yo, what you doing Sunday? Yo, text us what you doing Sunday, because I think we're gonna be in your neighborhood.
Yeah. We'll get in the group chat through text.
But yo, thank everybody for being here. Love y'all. We'll be back here next week for another Denounced podcast. Saturday, another Spidey stream, and
maybe not Saturday.
oh yeah, we're not gonna be.
We're not gonna be here all day on Saturday, and maybe not gonna be here all day on Sunday.
Oh shit.
So the next Spidey stream is gonna have to be next week, y'all. We are sorry.
I totally forgot about that shit.
Yeah. So
we're not gonna be here until like 11, 12. Wow.
Yeah. So